right, guys. So our final off the top topic is we're gonna address the rumor going around here, and I guess we'll probably talk about the trailer too because it just came out. But there's been rumors that are, in my opinion, completely unsubstantiated. But I'll get into that here in a little bit. That the Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal has supposedly quit halfway through season two, and I say unsubstantiated because no one from Disney and no one from Lucasfilm, Pedro himself, no reliable source on set of Mandalorian. Like, there's been no confirmation of this from anybody reliable in any way, shape, or form. Not to discredit anybody who's been reporting on this by any means, but there hasn't been any. This is pretty big news if it were to be true. And I feel like if the news actually leaked and there was some credence to it, that Disney would have wanted to get out in front of it and actually comment on it in some way. And there's crickets about that. So I don't. That's just one of the many reasons that I don't think it's true. But most importantly, one of the things that people were saying in the story were he didn't, Pedro didn't like wearing his helmet or something, and just weird stuff coming out here, and it's like people don't. Pedro's not even on set 80% of the time for the show. He literally it just does the voice for him for the most part. Like, there was a scene, the episode, I think it was episode 3 or 4 in season 1, the one that Ron Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard, the one that she directed. She didn't even meet Pedro Pascal. She directed the entire episode, like episode 3 or 4, the one where they were at the camp with the ATST thing.
Yep.
That Pedro wasn't on set for that entire episode. And he even takes his helmet off in that episode. You don't see it, but he takes it off, and you see the silhouette. Wasn't Pedro. He's not even there half the time. So, for them to come out and say, there's just these, I just don't buy these rumors that, he was, upset about, no, I have to wear a helmet, and, all these things. He signed on to be the voice actor for it. They did the whole, yeah, he's in the suit. He's got the one scene where the helmet is off, and you see it's him. He does do some things on set, but not many. He has 2 different stunt guys that do gun work, and then another guy does martial arts work. Those are the 2 guys you actually see in the suit all the time. You don't actually see Pedro. If you see him with his helmet on, which is literally 99% of the show, it's more than likely not even Pedro Pascal. He just did the voice work. And I think people are just overlooking that. So for him to have any problems with the show and problems with wearing the suit, how does that even make any sense?
Well, and so to go along with what you were saying, how there's been no confirmation from anybody on Disney, but Pedro hasn't confirmed it. And to take that one step further, not only has he not confirmed it, he's actually been actively promoting the show. He is retweeted and released the promo images as they've been coming out, the trailer as it came out. You would think somebody that was so upset that their lack of FaceTime in this show that they walked off set and quit that would be it. They'd be burning that bridge and they'd be like, I'm done with your show. But no, he's still out there actively promoting the new season. So yeah, this rumor doesn't hold a lot of water for me.
No, it doesn't at all. And that's the thing too. And I'll play devil's advocate and say, and I have an example that backs it, is if let's say it were to be true, him doing all that stuff is contractual, we'll say. Because if you remember, when was it? At the Comic-Con that they were promoting Justice League. Ben Affleck's up on stage. Anybody who sticks to the news pretty much already knew that Ben Affleck was done with Batman at this point. There were already inside rumors that Ben was done with Batman, but Justice League hadn't came out yet. So they couldn't have, Warner Brothers couldn't have the news that Ben Affleck leaves Justice League and is no longer playing Batman before Justice League comes out, because now the story is Ben Affleck leaves and not, yay, Justice League's coming out. Yay. And they're kind of in the same situation here with Mandalorian, because Mandalorian season 2 hasn't came out yet. So they could be having to do it, just being a good soldier as Pedro would be. If this doesn't make sense, if he's so unhappy with the role, like you said, it's
Well, and the rumor that I
You're
heard
gonna
was
be.
he walked off in the middle of filming season 2. So like it would be more like if Ben had walked out in the middle of filming Justice League, not after Justice League was over with. And
Right.
at that point, he's already broken the contract to appear in those episodes. And I don't know, the whole thing is just very, very suspicious. I feel like you said, it's a slow news week and people were kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for things to talk about.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, like, because that's the thing with most people, like with the Ben Affleck thing people took away from it was that he got questioned about because right at the time they were promoting Justice League at Comic Con, the news came out that Matt Reeves is going to be directing the Batman movie, and they hadn't announced Robert Pattinson yet at this time, but so everyone's leading presumption was that Ben was supposed to be writing and directing the Batman movie, the solo Batman movie, but then there were some stories coming out that he wasn't going to be doing that anymore, but it hadn't really been confirmed yet. And then all of a sudden, news dropped that Matt Reeves was directing it. All of a sudden, so he obviously got questioned about it, and then Ben Affleck literally said I'd be an ape on the floor for Matt Reeves. Yeah, blah blah blah. He said he was pretty much still going to be Batman, and he was going to be in that movie. So there could obviously be some credence and correlation to this story, but the fact that they're saying he walked off set, like I said, he ain't even on set. 90% of the time, he's not even there. And that number might be kind of skewed, but you can't get you literally have confirmation from directors on the show who literally said that they never even got a chance to meet him.
Yeah.
He's the star of the show. But he's not there all the time. So it doesn't make any sense. And you'd think that we'd have some sort of confirmation from somebody, somebody would have to have said something.
Yeah.
I don't buy it for the sheer fact that I know he ain't even on set, so it's it just doesn't make sense to me, at all. But the trailer looked great. What did you think of the trailer? We can talk about that real quick.
Yeah. I mean, you summed it up. It was great.
It was very good.
I mean, it was just like a friend that you haven't seen in a while came over to visit or something. It was just
yeah,
all the good things that you remember just came back in that quick little visit with them, and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait till we go on that long vacation this winter. This is gonna be great.
it looked better than season 1 did. Honestly, I don't know what it was about it, but I don't know if it was maybe the tone seemed different, but it seemed I don't know. I just the whole vibe of the trailer. I just liked I was way more excited for this season. And maybe it was just because season 1 was so good, overall. So I was just excited to see season 2. But I don't know. I just really liked the overall tone of everything that happened. And then obviously the little scene when he activates the little whistler missile things on his hand, and then Baby Yoda's like, shit. I was like, that's great.
So good.
The hummingbirds or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was great. See, I don't
Yeah.
know. And I'm excited for the whole, I don't know, we were kind of talked about it last week, I think, when they could go in so many different ways with his mission now being to unite Baby Yoda with his people. And I don't know, I'm just excited to see where that actually goes.
Well, the whole first season was so shrouded in mystery going into the story. I mean, nobody, like we talked about last week, nobody had an idea that Baby Yoda was going to be in there. And so then you had kind of a season that kind of was, it was setting everything up. And now everything's been set up. And this trailer really gave you the sense that there's a certain storyline that they're going to be following throughout the course of this season. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And they had the one shot of I forget the actress' name, but she's a WWE wrestler. Because when the overlay was when they were talking about the Jedi's and returning the baby and blah blah blah, enemy sorcerers, whatnot. Then they show the hooded figure of the girl, and then she disappears.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the actress's name. I think Sasha Banks. That's who it is. But her character hasn't been confirmed yet, but everyone is presuming that she's playing Sabine Wren because of Ahsoka being in it as well.
Okay.
Because in Rebels, Ahsoka kind of joins Sabine, and Sabine. You didn't watch Rebels, right? You didn't watch.
I didn't watch Rebels, no.
Well, Sabine Wren is a Mandalorian.
Okay.
She's a female Mandalorian, but I think, if I remember correctly, she was exiled. I think it was a self-exile. I don't 100% remember. been a while since I watched Rebels, and I didn't watch the whole last season. I just watched the Ahsoka fight Vader. That was really all I cared about towards the end there. Rebels had the same kind of problem that like CW show have, not to keep shitting on CW in some way, but like there's a lot of filler episodes, and since it's like animated like kids show filler, it's really not appealing, you know? Like it just kind of gets really lackadaisical, so I didn't really watch. I watched Darth Maul stuff, and then I watched like Darth Vader stuff, and like that's it. So I missed a lot of context. But anyway, people are assuming she's playing Sabine, which would be cool because she is obviously has her helmet off in that scene, and she's like, you know, our Mandalorian's whole creed thing is that they can't take the helmet off. So like I'm kind of curious if we're ever going to get an answer as to why they do that. Is it like just because they're all foundlings and like foundlings aren't allowed to take it off because they're not like true Mandalorians? So for them to be a Mandalorian, they're not allowed to take off the armor is like really the only assumption I kind of have at this point. But like, I'm also wondering if like they even know that there are other Mandalorians out there at this point, since they were talking about like throughout the season of Mandalorian, they talk about some like cataclysmic event that happened with like the Mandalorians, like maybe the planet Mandalore, even I don't really fully remember, but like something happened that dispersed everybody, and now they just have these little factions of them. So I'm wondering if like they even know that like any kind of like real lore behind like the Mandalore or anything like that, to like know that any like original Mandalorians even exist at this point. Like, so I'm just interested to see like if he meets Sabine and Ahsoka, which I'm sure they probably will, what that interaction is going to be like. You know, like him being kind of this weird offshoot Mandalorian with their own set of rules, running into Sabine, who is kind of in the same way, but like a completely different boat. Like, you know, she's hanging out with a Jedi who, in his mind, is an enemy sorcerer. You know, so it could create a lot of interesting character dynamics and provide a lot of growth and like shit for Mandalorian dude himself. So I don't know. That's what gets me excited.
He's so in. I mean, because the Mandalorians found him and basically saved him and raised him. He's so in on that, on their teachings, and he's bought into that so much that this could be an interesting way to do some character growth with him questioning what he's been raised to believe his entire life, and does Rin have a different way that's just as valid that he maybe wants to explore? So
right. Which is what kind of what like we're getting with the whole Baby Yoda thing, because like he even says like, "You want me to take this thing back to a planet full of enemy sorcerers?" Like yeah, this is the way, and it's like, hey, like whatever, like so. I mean, yeah, it would be interesting. That's why I'm interested in seeing how he's gonna react to like these other Mandalorians out there if it happens. Like she might not be playing Sabine, so who knows? It's the only thing that kind of makes logical sense at this point. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's like October 30th, right?
October 30th, yeah.
So.
The other thing that trailer, just real quick, this will be the last I have to say about it, but I was glad the trailer didn't. They gave you enough to make you feel all the warm and fuzzies, but they didn't spoil anything. It didn't give you too much. You didn't see the dark blade, you didn't see anything like that. It's, you know, I like that they left a lot of mystery to it.
Right. No, I agree. Because that's the thing, too, because a lot of people were wondering why they didn't show Ahsoka. But I feel like Ahsoka is probably going to be in one episode. And I feel like if they start marketing Ahsoka, people are going to be disappointed that there's not more Ahsoka. And I mean, it's not an Ahsoka show. So, I mean, I don't. In my opinion, I'd rather be like completely surprised when Ahsoka shows up rather than, I don't know, kind of see a bunch of scenes of her and then like kind of already have an idea of what's going to be going on in her scenes. I'd rather be more surprised with that aspect because I don't even care about it being Ahsoka. I'm just more interested in how the Mandalorian character is going to, our boy Din Djarin. I guess since we know his name, we can just call him Din Djarin. I'm curious of what he's gonna think about like the Jedis and all this stuff. Like that's what I'm more interested in. Like it could be any Jedi really, just like him. Because I don't know. I don't want them to be introducing all the Jedis and stuff. Because then it's like
then the show becomes about the Jedi and not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's like, so I think Ahsoka is a good choice, and she's kind of like, I don't know, not necessarily morally gray or a gray Jedi, but like she left the Jedi, but she still is trying to do good, and like it's a good fit for this show, for her to be the one to do it. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's be interesting to see how they like do all that fucking weird ass head tails for her, because it's not your traditional like Twi'lek kind of head tail. It's like it's I'm curious. I'm definitely curious how how she's gonna translate to live action. So we'll see. But whatever it is, guys, you let us know what you think about this Mandalorian season 2 rumor that Pedro's left. I think it's complete nonsense. Until we get confirmation from, actual reputable sources, I I don't see why anybody would really buy it, but that's just me. What did you guys think of the trailer? We're looking forward to it. You let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below.